Hey guys, it's Allison coming back. I'm laughing because this has been just a total shit show trying to get this set up. As you can see, I'm in a different space. I am in my bedroom, in my husband's bedroom. This is going to be my update for weeks 19 and 20. I am currently, well, I will be 21 weeks tomorrow by the time this goes up, so I am ready to give some things that have changed over the last few weeks. It has been a kind of an eventful few weeks, and it's been interesting. So I'll give you guys kind of a rundown, and then I'll give you a shot of the bump at the end of the video. So you will also hear a lot of animal, as you probably are hearing it now. My dogs really want to be a part of this process, so they will be coming in and out. I locked them out, but my husband hasn't put the knobs back on the door since he painted them, so I can't really lock them out. So first off, for week 19, I ended up taking a trip to Triage. So I've been having this same pain on my left side for the last, I would say now it's been probably at least 2 months that I've been feeling it pretty consistently, and it was not until the Friday of my week 19, I can't remember it was literally the day after I turned 19 weeks. I called my doctor and just said, hey, what do you think this is? And she kind of panicked and said I needed to go into triage. So that was what I ended up doing. So I went into triage. The pain that I was feeling was kind of like a ball sitting on my left side, and it was preventing my legs from moving up, my left leg from moving all the way up. So I just felt like there was something in the way, something didn't feel right. And so I decided to just go in and just see what it was. The doctor at Triage didn't give me any good feedback on what it was. All she said was, oh, it sounds like it's probably just round ligament pain is what she said. And I was like, no, this feels different. I know it does, but she didn't really listen. You know, they think that we're just anxious first-time moms, those of us that are first-time moms, and so they don't really pay attention to what we say all the time. So I went home, and then I ended up having a doctor's appointment. They kept me there for like a couple of hours just to monitor baby and me, but baby was fine, heartbeat was strong, everything was fine with the baby. So I went in for a doctor's appointment the following week, and it was literally 2 days later, and my doctor was actually feeling around, and she decided, turns out that I actually have a hernia. So I've visited with a general surgeon since, and he confirmed that I do have a hernia on my left side. So we aren't totally sure what kind of hernia it is. It could be either an inguinal or it could be a femoral hernia. We don't know which one, and we won't know until he gets in there. It's hard to tell outside of, or unless we take an x-ray. I'm not really interested in taking an x-ray, and I'm not interested in taking or doing anything that could potentially harm the baby. So we are just gonna leave it as it is, and because usually with hernias they want to do surgery right away, I elected not to have surgery until it's absolutely necessary. So that's where we are right now as far as the hernia goes. It's definitely not, I'm stressed about it, I'm worried about it, mostly because I can feel it and I know it's there, and I'm worried about it getting worse, but there's really no way for me to know for sure that it is safe for us to have surgery. Of course, the doctors are going to say it is, but I don't really trust that. So at this point, that's kind of where I'm at with the hernia. It's continuing to be uncomfortable and annoying, but we're just going to continue on and do what we got to do, and I'm taking it easy. But something else that I started in 19 weeks was I started doing water aerobics alongside walking, and I was alternating every other day walking and water aerobics, and I've actually really loved doing water aerobics. It stretches you in places that I don't normally get stretched, and I just really love it, but I have had to kind of take it easy since then, and I tried to go back to water aerobics yesterday, and it ended up being a huge mistake. The whole rest of the day yesterday I was in bad shape, just really in pain mostly, and I could tell my left side was just really irritated. And then today I'm feeling, I woke up feeling better, but I've been really moving around a lot and being really active today, so that's been kind of tricky, and I can feel it, the tension and the pain coming back. I have my arm out because My dog Leo is licking my hand. But anyways, that's that. I don't want to get too whiny about it. It is annoying and frustrating and stressful, but it is what it is. And baby's safe. We just got to make sure that I keep an eye on it for my own sake, really. And that's where we're at for it. So I noticed this actually coming on earlier than 19 weeks, but I really noticed in 19 weeks that I was losing my tolerance for almost anything. I had no tolerance for stress, no tolerance for people being annoying at school, just no tolerance. And it wasn't really aimed at my husband, which he might tell you something different, but it really wasn't aimed at him. It was mostly aimed at school. Like, school is just pissing me off and I'm just stressed with it, and it's driving me crazy. So during my 19th week, I also was experiencing really amazing sleeping at night. I was sleeping just hard and for a really, just really sleeping well. I still woke up to go to the bathroom, but I was able to go right back to sleep and not have any problems. But then once my 20th week started rolling around, I'll go into that, but that changed a lot. So we'll get into the 20th week. The 20th week was a little bit different. So as far as sleeping goes, we'll start there since I left off there. I started to have really intense dreams, and so my dreams were keeping me awake at night. And mostly after I started watching certain shows, I was stressing about what happened in the show and dreaming about it. So that has been a big event for me, or that was a big event for me. It's actually starting to get better now, but for a while there, it was really bad, and I was just really struggling to sleep and stay asleep and not stress about silly things or plan for the next day. But for 20 weeks, we did also have the anatomy scan. It was actually it was between the 19-20 week mark. I actually believe it was I was 19 weeks when I got my anatomy scan. But yeah, so my anatomy scan actually went really well. I was a little bit bummed out because the baby was facing down, so her back was to the front of my belly, and so it was really tough for us to get any good profile shots or any good really good shots of her face. So we didn't get to see much of her face. We got a couple different ones of her face, but you can't see a whole lot. So I was really bummed. I have to say I was super disappointed, but the good thing is that all of her organs look amazing. It was actually incredible to see her have grown so much and just looked so different. So I was loving that. And we didn't have a doctor's appointment right after that, so they said they would call me if they noticed any issues, and they didn't call me, so no problems. We have since had a doctor's appointment in my 20-week mark. We had a doctor's appointment and with the OB, and she said that everything looked great. They noticed the cyst that I have in my left ovary, which I've had for a long time. It's kind of not your typical cyst. It's a dermoid, which if you look it up, dermoids are a pain in the butt, and they're not fun. But I've fought that cyst for years and years, so we're just monitoring that. That's not really anything to worry about with the baby. It doesn't affect the baby at all, so that's good. I also did my glucose test in my last appointment, and my glucose test I passed, thankfully. I was very nervous. We have a lot of diabetes in my family, and just unhealthy habits and things that cause a lot of health issues in my family history. So me personally, I'm a really healthy eater. I eat lots of fiber and protein and just fruits and vegetables and all kinds of really healthy nutrient-rich foods, but I can't really reverse any sort of family history that I have. So I was nervous. My doctor was nervous, especially because I started my pregnancy being a little bit overweight, or a lot overweight depending on who you talk to, and so that was something that I was it was on my mind, and I was nervous about it. But I passed, and I actually passed with flying colors. They want to keep you under, my doctor's office wants to keep you under 140 for your blood sugar, and mine was like in the 80s, like low 80s. I can't remember what the number was, but it was in the 80s. So I'm really happy about that, and I feel just really good. That it means that all these things that I'm doing to keep my body healthy are working, and that just feels really satisfying that I'm keeping that baby strong and healthy, as well as myself. Throughout the 19th and the 20th week, my skin has continued to be extremely dry. The skin on my face has been really dry, and I've been struggling to find makeup that actually feels good and looks good. So that's been kind of an annoying thing. It's silly, it's just kind of vain, but it's definitely, dry skin is not fun, and I've really been struggling with it. So it's definitely a part of what I've been experiencing. So another big event that happened in my 20th week is we decided that we were going to get a doula. For those of you that don't know, my mom passed away when I was in high school, so I was 14 years old, and so I don't have a whole lot of women in my life to help coach me through this process and just help me in general, just keep me focused, or help me throughout making my birth plan and things like that. I can get a lot of different opinions from my friends. I have a lot of really amazing women in my life that have had children, but none that are really, really close like a mom. So through a series of breakdowns, to be honest, my husband and I decided that we're going to get a doula, and it took more convincing of my husband, just because I think men, or I don't want to generalize to men, but it can be really hard to understand the purpose of a doula, if for one, if this isn't happening to your body, and for two, if it can just seem really excessive to some, I've noticed, at least for my husband, but he understands it now, and he gets the reason why it's so important to me. And I really just want to have that advocate during my birth plan, or during labor and birth, because I have plans and I have things that I want to make sure that I hold myself accountable for, as well as the doctor. And so I don't want to have any reason, I don't want there to be any reason for me to not have been able to fulfill my birth plan, aside from just emergency needs, or something is, or pain, I guess. I know that every woman experiences some level of pain during birth, but I don't want that to be the only reason why I were to get an epidural. If you guys don't know, I'm going to do my absolute best to have a natural birth. I am also being flexible with that, because I don't want to expect that I'm not going to have, or just expect that I'm going to have no problems, or just expect, I don't want to just promise myself that I won't have an epidural, just because I also want to be able to enjoy the process. But for me, a part of enjoying the process is being able to experience all the things happening to my body, so that I can be in tune with it. I'm very much someone that's in tune with my body, and it kind of scares me and worries me to the thought of not having any control. So that's one. And then the other factor is that I'm concerned about my hernia during labor. If I am able to have a vaginal birth, which I hope that I will, I am nervous about what could happen there, and that can be incredibly painful if something happens with the hernia during birth, and so I am very nervous about that. One other thought that I do want to throw out there is that for people that have hernias during vaginal birth, what I've learned is that a lot of times, or just pregnant and have hernias, at least in the inguinal area, you have to be extremely careful after you have the baby, if you're delivering vaginally, because it puts a lot of pressure on that tissue, and it can make your hernia drastically worse. So I am really hoping to be able to fulfill that birth plan, but I'm also, like I said, I want to be realistic, because my hernia is now a problem, and that could be life-threatening for me, and I need to be here to take care of and enjoy my family, and my baby. So that's just a thought that has recently come back into my mind, is I need to be a little bit more flexible, just because I can't control what's happening with the hernia. And to be honest, an epidural would help me deal with anything that may happen with the hernia, if anything. The last thing for my 20 weeks is that I actually have been feeling the baby kick. And I know that I said a few weeks ago that I started to feel it, but this is totally different. Like, I'm feeling like really obvious movements. And I have an anterior placenta, so my placenta is right on the front of my belly. So a lot of that is cushion that's happening down the middle, but I'm feeling that down on the lower sides of my belly, I'm feeling a lot of movement and just these little flutters, and sometimes it feels like a kick. When I was sitting on the couch the other night, we were watching our Netflix show, and all of a sudden I felt like this like jab feeling in my lower belly, and it was like a kick or a punch, I don't know, one of the two, but I was like, holy cow. It actually took, like, kind of shocked me for a minute, but that's starting to happen more often, and so I feel better about that. It kind of gives me a peace of mind that she's good, she's swimming around, she's moving, her heart's beating, she's safe. So really quickly, a couple of products that I wanted to share with you. We have gotten the nursery started. We got a rug. We've been getting a lot of things from Wayfair.com. We've been getting some great deals on Wayfair, especially the rug that we got is beautiful, and it was very affordable. And for us, I mean, affordable is a word that we don't use very often, so it was very affordable for us, and just really great quality. And we got our crib on Wayfair as well. It's a Fisher Price crib, and my husband already put it together. And our glider is from Wayfair.com, and it's a very, very good brand glider. I do have the links, and I'll put them down below if you guys want to check them out. But all three of those things that we bought are out of stock all the time. But if you put the in-stock alerts on the Wayfair.com, they will send you alerts, and you can buy it immediately. Just keep in mind that the price does change depending on when you buy it. So we also got a chandelier that I'm really excited about. I'm really excited to put it in there, even though I'm a little bit nervous about losing our ceiling fan, just because we live in Arizona. It is ridiculously hot during the summers, and that particular room is facing the sun, so it is just, the sun beats down on it all day long, and so it can get really hot in there. So that's just something that I have to think about. Last few things. So I did buy, I think I talked to you guys about my belly band that I got last week, or weeks ago now. And I haven't been wearing it a lot. It's not super comfortable, but I have to say it is super supportive of my belly, especially now with the hernia. My belly feels really heavy, and so and it just weighs down on that area. So I need to start using it more. But what I ended up getting for just everyday, use at home too, is I got a belly belt, and it's literally a belt that it wraps around your back. It has a really good back support, and then it just goes right under your belly, and it pulls your belly up. So I got it, actually just came in today from Amazon Prime, so I'm going to try it out, and I'll let you guys know next time how I like it. I'll still link it just in case you guys want to check it out. I think it was like $8, it was super cheap. So I'm worried that it's a little bit cheapy, but honestly it looks like it would be really comfortable, and a lot of them look very uncomfortable. And now that it's getting hot, I really don't want to have a ton of material on me, so that's something that I'm also keeping in mind. So that is it for my 19 and 20 week update and some product updates. I am so sorry that it's been a while since I've been able to get a video up. As you guys can see, we've had some really eventful weeks, but I'm hoping to get back on track. It is going to get a little chaotic in the summer because I am taking a full load of classes just to get them out of the way before baby comes, but I do just want to let you know that I'm going to try to get back on a routine. Yeah, so let me know if you guys have any comments or any questions, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks, guys.